If I could take you up in boom boom boosh, boom boom, tell me I'm the only one that you know. Life could be a dream, sweetheart.
Wow. We're finally doing it.
Finally here. Finally here.
Oh my gosh, baby.
What's up?
We're finally doing this podcast thing.
Yeah.
After such a long time of procrastinating, we are finally deciding to start a podcast. What's the first thing that comes to mind, baby, when you're preparing to do something like this? YouTube channel, podcast,
It needs to be perfect. It just needs to be perfect. I mean, there's so many of us doing it, so like for me it has to be perfect.
You see, that's the thing right there. Because we're both perfectionists, we delayed our progress when it comes to the podcast industry, because we wanted to be perfect. We always want everything to be perfect. But what is perfection to you, though? Oh, also, we need to introduce ourselves. Hi, guys. This is our YouTube channel. This is Peace on the Couch.
Peace on the couch. We finally made it.
Okay, great.
We moved from the gram to the tube.
All right. What is perfection to you? I'm sure this is not perfect, though.
I mean, yeah. According to me, I wanted to be like,
So, until once it's
You stupid, stupidly perfect.
I mean, I wanted that kind of feel, but I mean, of course, with us, we define what perfection is for us. As much as we struggle sometimes, but there's actually, before we get into deep with all of this thing, there's an article, because of course because we're perfectionists, we did our research. So
but you are more of a perfectionist than I am. Mina I'm a jumper.
So I'm coming to that.
Rewind.
This is the funniest. Oh my God.
Rewind.
Okay. Like we said, what were we talking about?
You were telling me about an article that you read.
Oh yeah. So this article is talking about how the idea of perfectionism is damaging society, us as individuals, and the huge part it plays on our mental health.
Yeah.
And how certain people, celebrities, have stamped the idea of what perfect is.
Yes.
Go back to and we forget how to be with ourselves.
Yeah. Because we don't think it's perfect. For me, baby, this perfection thing is so wide. It's spread, especially when it comes to family, because there's a version of perfect that your family requires. Especially, I'm gonna make an example with me, especially with myself being in the public eye. There's a perfection, a pressure of perfection in my mind that I need to uphold for the industry, the society, right? And there's a perception of perfection that I need to uphold for my family, because something that is perfect kuma TV nanani, it won't be perfect ekaya, So these are the societal pressures of perfections, of perfection that we go through as humans. Even those celebrities that we look up to for perfection, they're also trying to be perfect because they are pressured by something, you know.
That's true.
So I don't think there is perfection. That's why that article said it's impossible. The key for that article was impossible. It's impossible because my perfect won't be your perfect.
That's true.
You know, and our perfect won't be society perfect. So that is why we're just doing our thing.
Yeah,
now.
that's what I wanted to say earlier
Yeah.
on when you mentioned that I'm more of a perfectionist than you.
Yeah.
You know, I also found out that there are two types of perfectionists.
Okay.
You know, there's the adaptive one, the one that yes, they strive to do things right, but they always more lenient on themselves.
Okay.
When it comes to submitting projects, you know, when you're a perfectionist, even work becomes a problem.
Yes.
You know, so the adaptive, it's called adaptive perfectionism, where you want to do things right, but you still give yourself the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Right. And then there's those they call them the maladaptive perfectionists.
I think that's you, the mal one.
Yeah, those who actually sabotage themselves. You know, the what do you call it? The thought process is already of failure. You understand? They don't see mistakes as life lessons, but they see mistakes as failures. And it becomes difficult for a person to progress in life because every single thing that they do is not perfect.
It's not enough. Yeah.
And now they start competing with themselves and others. And it becomes a problem where you don't have somebody else to have your back because you're such a perfectionist that everything that everyone does is wrong.
Yeah.
So you think I'm a maladaptive?
Partly, you are partly a maladaptive and an adaptive, you know. But when it comes to your work, baby, like, you guys, B is hectic when it comes to work. Like, you do something to perfection. Letting you show you, in my eyes, it will be perfect. But you will always see something wrong in it and say, no, the grading, I don't think the grading is great. No, it's, yeah, man, no, at the angle, look, it's skewed. Like, I think it's also an OCD thing, you know, when it comes to you. And you are just a perfectionist, but I'm glad, Guti, most of the time I'm there to say, dude, it is perfect.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Like Nike.
Like this thing we're doing now, you know? You are technical, my baby, and it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. But I think going forward, now that you know that there's those two different type of perfectionists, we both of us, because now sometimes I dabble between mal and, you said mal and what?
Adaptive and maladaptive.
Yes, I dabble between maladaptive and adaptive, because sometimes the pressure of society comes in all the time to say the previous designer did it like this, so when you must standard and already you have that pressure, and now you're doubting your craft and you're doubting your gifts with how am I gonna do this, you know?
I love also what this article said when it said when it read like this whole thing also starts at a young age where kids are forced to
At home.
compete
Yeah.
with each other.
Yep.
Or this whole system has scored of testing kids, because now if you get a lower mark you are less than the one that got a higher mark. So now you have to push to get to that, which pushes perfectionism.
Yes.
Right? And how do you think our upbringing as black individuals from black families influence the state that we are in, where we set inconsiderable goals for ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we set the goals they know they are unrealistic.
Yes.
For ourselves, and then when we do fail, we break ourselves down so much.
You know, I think, Shame, you know, our parents tried, Shame, you know, and as much as they left a lot of work with us, but I trust our generation to make things right, because we are that kind of generation that unfortunately needs to fix all the mess that we find ourselves in, because our parents were not a generation that questions things. You know, and now it's because they got it from their parents. So fortunately for us, we are of a generation where things need to be questioned, and you need to give a valid reason why this has to happen, you know, which gives us an opportunity to be different parents as well. But Shame, they tried, and we can't blame them a lot, because there was no some sort of direction on their end, because nabo abazali babo, they were taught a certain way of living. So now the world is diverse, and I'm hoping, unfortunately now the problem is that we are so immersed in social media, and if our kids can understand what social media is just to uphold a certain standard. It's not real life, you know. There's a few people on social media that are actually living their best lives, like their truest lives. One person I know who's doing that is Zoto Abantu. Like, she's just like living her best life and living her truest life according to what I'm seeing. It might be for likes also, but I feel like one of the most authentic beings I've been exposed to when it comes to social media is Zoto Abantu, you know. So Tina, we are that generation that needs to fix things, unfortunately, and I think we're doing a great job. You were saying something about you were picking up from a point that I made.
Yes, I was saying, as much as we could be the generation to change all of this, it is quite difficult, because everything is so polluted, everything is so disrupted by social media, right? Because social media has its own set of what perfection is. And you mentioned Uzora and how free she is, right? And we don't know if we don't know if we don't know if I have to change the cut. We don't know if Zora thinks of herself perfect. I was saying, I'm gonna be fast now.
You don't think Zota thinks of herself as perfect.
But we as society now have deemed her life perfect, and those who follow her, those who are fans of her.
Yes, baby.
Yeah. Nah, it's not gonna work.
The gist of this video
is that we're not
perfect.
Okay?
And
we're not perfect.
This is our only version of it. Is this thing on?
It should be on.
We are not perfect.
We tried though.
And this is our
version
of perfect. We're not perfect, okay? We're not perfect. But we love ourselves. And this is perfect for us. Okay? Cut. Bye.